I don't know, what do you think the headline should read? Something like, big brave police officer runs down a helpless frightened animal with his 4x4? Or, that wasn't very clever, was it? I expect most of you have heard the story, seen the news, seen the clip of video, and are probably fed up to the back teeth with hearing about it in opinions, especially from farmers. But I am going to put my 10 penneth in. That was a pretty shoddy state of affairs, and it showed the level of ignorance that there is between those who live and work in the town and city and those of us that work out here in the country with livestock. I mean, the copper who ran that little animal down, I don't think he did it out of malice, and he possibly even thought he was doing the right thing, because he knew no better. Right, we have had some rain. Really heavy rain, and it has made the yard a bit mucky. But before I do anything with that, I really want to get the shredding finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and have a wander down the cattle in a second, but while I'm doing that, we're going to get this guy warmed up. There you go, there's my gearbox level up to where it should be. And I haven't added a drop of oil to that, not a drop. So, weird. I park it on the level one day and the oil says low. I park it on the oil, level next day and the oil says perfectly all right. So why is that then? Okay, that can go on a warm up. Let's go look at some cows. I really hope that animal is flat out fast asleep and not dead. Oh, no, we're okay. Put his head up. All right, so now I work on a slightly smaller scale of things as far as my cattle is concerned, but for those who don't know, that's a cow, and that's an adult female who's had at least 2 calves. That's what a cow is. The small creature that the coppers run over the weekend was a heifer, which is a young female. For example, little Rosie out there, who hasn't had a calf yet, hasn't been a mother, never rears the calf. So somehow, over the weekend, a small heifer youngster had either been let out or he'd escaped from somewhere, possibly from miles away, and had found its way into the town. It had been reported to the police. People were frightened because it's a large animal running around, and the police have just taken it on. Oh, there's a potential threat there. It could cause a car accident. It could cause an injury. All true. So apparently, allegedly, they spent 2 hours trying to catch it. Now, in my book, 2 hours trying to catch something means 2 hours chasing it. So you've got a young animal that's been separated from the herd. Bearing in mind, these are herd animals. They like to be with their mates. If you separate one animal from all his mates, they derive from a prey species. It is automatic for them, very stressful to be separated from your mates and then to be chased around with cars, people, folks probably shouting and waving their arms at it, who really don't know what they're doing. And then the stress level's going up and up. And then all of a sudden you've got an animal that really has no idea. It's just flicked panic mode. So, and then when the police realise they can't, because they don't know how to, they think, well, what else can we do? Oh yeah, we'll run it over. So I've got a couple of questions. First question is, where did it come from and how did it manage to get to where it was? Was it poor fencing from the farmer? Was it an open gate? Somebody opened the gate and let it out? Was it, had it been chased around a field by a dog and jumped over the fence? Because that's kind of the most, to have one animal by itself is unusual. Usually if you've got animals out, it's usually a group of them and they've escaped together. To have one, there's a question there. Why? Why would there be just one? Question two, apparently I've been running around the town for a couple of hours with the police in hot pursuit trying to catch it. Well, obviously the police didn't know what they were doing, and I'm pretty sure most of them would admit, I didn't really know what I was doing, but we were just trying to catch it. No, we were there doing our public safety bit. I mean, this animal could have caused an accident or hurt somebody, which is true. Why didn't they spend some of that time finding somebody who knew how to deal with the problem? I mean, it took them 2 hours before they ran it over. Why couldn't they have used some of that time to maybe contact a couple of local farmers and say, we've got a problem, can you help? And I pretty much guarantee you that if the police rang me or any of our other cattle farmers around here said, we've got an animal loose, would you come and help? We'd go. We'd put down our knife and fork or turn off our telly or whatever it did, and we would go and help. But no, they didn't do that. Or at least not as far as we know, they didn't do that. And is that because there is a lack of communication between rural and urban society and police forces? I mean, our local rural police officers, I think we have got one now, but I mean, there are no rural police officers now. They're all kind of in the city and they occasionally come out into the country to deal with a problem out here because we've been burgled or someone's been murdered or something, or there's an RTC, and that's the only reason they come out here. Other than that, they stay inside their cosy little town, you know, next to the Mackie D's or the Burger King or Chip King, no, next to their source of sustenance. They don't come out here. So there's a lack of communication. So if there's anything that's going to happen with this, one, the police officer involved with this has been suspended, which I think is a good thing. Should he be fired? Pending an investigation, I'm not one to judge that, but I'd say quite possibly no. This is down to lack of knowledge, lack of training, and lack of common sense as well, really, when you think about it. But people who live in the town, it's the same with folks walking the footpaths. They have no idea. They do not know how to behave around cattle. So if you've got a problem with cattle, talk to somebody who does. Because there are plenty of us out here who would happily help. Anyway, apparently Home Secretary's asked for a full investigation. I think that's a good thing. I hope that this will maybe raise awareness, although this is a very rare occurrence, the potential for harm. Just think if that thing got on the motorway or something. The potential for harm and injury, yeah. If the police would have a bit more communication with us out in the countryside, they could have a list of people who could be on hand to help. And it may not be just with rescuing a frightened farm animal that somehow has found its way into the city. It could be things like somebody with a bloody great big tractor to tow something out of the canal, or something with a great big teleander that can pick something up and lift it off something, or just having a list of contacts. I need help with this. I'm here. Who's available? That one, that one, that one. We can give those 3 people a call. Are they available? Can we give it? And it's literally just having plan. Just having preparation. You know, go around to the local farmers. We want to put together a bit of an emergency plan. Would you be happy to be involved? That if we had an emergency, we could call on you for help. And I'm pretty sure most farmers would go, yes. Yeah. You know, car's gone in the river. Can you give us a hand to pull him out? The nearest recovery vehicle's 100 miles away. Yes, we'll come and help you pull him out. Trees falling on a car. Can you lift it off? Yeah, I'll bring me man or 2 over and I'll lift it off and stuff. And it's like, but I think it's possibly down to health and safety. Oh, you haven't done a risk assessment. Or when was the last time that machine was inspected? When was the last time you did your iPath? Or when have you got a certificate to drive that? And I think it's down to the point where common sense and a bit of actual, you know, college of experience and hard knocks, or whatever you want to call it, that's where most of us went to. We know how to do stuff. You find a farmer and they know how to do stuff. They can work stuff out. They can think around a problem that, you know, someone who's tied up in health and safety and risk assessment, everything else goes, oh, well, we can't, and we go, no, you just do that. We can do that. Stand back. We'll do that. So you might think I'm talking absolute rubbish, and I am drivelling on a little bit, but the nub of this thing is, the incident should never have happened, and if the police had a list of suitably qualified or suitably equipped persons, and we're not difficult to find, just come and tap on the door and have a chat with us. You know, get your liaison officer or whatever else. Go around all your local, around the cities, all right? If you're a city police force, within a 10-mile radius of your city, go around and knock on the big farmers' doors and just sort of say, we're putting together an emergency plan and we just need, if we need some help, would you help us? And the farmers will probably go, yes, we will. And it's kind of, right, we've got a cow out. We'll ring him. He keeps cows. Simple, really, isn't it? Right, well now I've finished drivelling on. We've been down, we've looked at our animals. The 3 heifers that are still due to calve still haven't calved. I mean, that's my job every morning, is to come down and just make sure everything is okay and nothing's trying to calve or had a calf or, yeah. So this is going to be Mike's job on Friday, well, more like Saturday and Sunday, to be honest. I'm not going till Friday afternoon. But yeah, just keeping an eye on them, making sure they're all in and nothing's escaped, because the last thing I want is one of my animals going up in town and getting run over by a copper. Right, we've still got a bit of fencing to do here, so sometime or other I am going to have to put the post rammer on and do some of these posts. I think there's about half a dozen here I want doing, and there's a couple down the bottom there that I want doing. They surprised me actually, because they were all creosoted posts and they haven't been in 10 years, but a couple of them are broken. Now whether that's because of cattle just pushing against them, doubt it helped. But yeah, post ramming. I need to check the rope on that as well, because he's getting a bit old. Might have to put a new rope on it. Anyway, before I wander down there to jabber on about police cars and running over cows and stuff, it wasn't a cow, it was a heifer, I started up a case, and he's been sat in there for 10 minutes ticking over, just warming up, because today I'm going to finish that. Right, we'll just square up a little bit better than that. About 500 RPM, that's close enough. Give it half an hour to chew that up a little bit. Right, so this is probably not very fair because the time now is 10:26, but I stayed down a bit longer. I actually started mucking out the yard down the bottom there, and I have put some more in since you last saw me, so I can't say that everything that's happened in the last hour or so is just that, because yeah, the heap is smaller. Right, that's fairly well chewed up in there, so I think we'll chuck that out and then we'll bung another load in, and then I'm going to carry on mucking at that bottom yard, something I've been saying I'm going to do for the last nearly a week, so we're actually finally getting on with it. And then hopefully by dinner time we'll have both jobs ticked off.